Hello, fellow lights and light travelers. This week's reading feels like it's touching upon how oftentimes in life there are endings, and from those endings, bring new beginnings. This is a call back through to that inner childhood that's being called and was always alive, but is being birthed through to the current version of yourself. So, with that said, I hope you enjoy Ashes and Dawn. While you're here, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Enjoy your reading. Hello, fellow lights and light travelers. Welcome again to Light Journeys Tarot. Thank you so much for being here with me, for connecting with your energy. As always, I have lit the space. I've called in my high vibrational guides. I bring forth messages for the highest good. As always, educational, entertainment purposes. Take what resonates, leave the rest straight. And like I always like to caveat, right? It doesn't matter if it's me reading or any other tarot reader. Know that you yourself have full control of your own life, right? When I connect, I am reading the current energies as they stand. This is a snapshot. Everything in life is fluid, can change. You can make a decision that impacts or, takes you down a different trajectory. So trust that you have the power to control your own life. Lead from your heart space, lead from a place of good intention for the highest good of yourself and all, and trust yourself to make the decisions that you need in your life to live an empowered, happy, full life for you. All right, with that being said, I'm going to get into that reading. Right now, I've been called to use my Wonderstruck Tarot. Just feels like a message is needing to come through from here today. So let's connect and see what message is coming forth from Spirit. All right, let's get into it. All right, Spirit. These ones are so clunky. They're big, big cards. But it's a beautiful, beautiful deck. So what message is wanting to come forth from the collective, for the collective? What message from Spirit would like to come forth for the collective? What message is wanting to come forth for the collective? Trusting this stop. Okay, we've got the Six of Cups. We've got the Hanged Man. And we've got the Four of Cups. Beautiful. Let's get into it. So with the Six of Cups, normally it has to do with memories, renewal, revisiting, right? Those old memories. Let's connect into this. So this is something, right? We've got our past, our present, our future. This feels like as of late, right? Not currently, but probably recently enough in the past, right? You have been recycling things from your life, tender things, maybe the way they once were. So sometimes for me, that brings in the feeling of nostalgia for happier moments in childhood. As I'm feeling this is more tender looking back upon, right? And I always trust with my decks, right? Each deck, people reflect these cards differently, although they have the same keywords and themes for these words. The images are bringing through a message from Spirit in a particular way. So for me, this feels like fondness, happy memories. I'm leaning towards between childhood and like youth and young adulthood. So this could be anywhere from like your 20s down to like being like a little kid in your earliest memories, right? This is the energy I'm feeling from this, right? And it's tender moments of, fond, I want to say activities that you did, loving things, loving connections that you had. I want to say things that felt more pure, right? As we get older, sometimes that logical mind comes in and everything becomes so rigid. And there's this purity that comes from childhood. I can think back myself personally, right? This is how this feels to me. I had a connection, this group of like between fifth and sixth grade when I was a kid. And it was such a pure, it was just that pure childhood. There's just this innocence that's still there, a wholeness, a purity, a connection that is completely heart-led, right? Like you're not in the cultural, societal ways of interacting and what's that word? Exchanging, like in the relationships, right? It's less transactional and it's more pure and free and flowing. What's coming into my mind is like, you know, the imagination of like, oh, hey, let's go play at the park. And, you know, you run over and you guys are doing silly things and you've got silly inside jokes and, you know, you joke about it when you guys see each other at school and when you meet up afterwards and, you know, when you have your little get-togethers, there's this purity and this, I don't know, it's like a childhood magic. So I feel like there's this reminiscing back into that energy of safety, of connecting. And what it almost feels like to me, while I'm hearing tenderness, this almost feels like this version of you tenderly connecting to that heart space and those memories from your past. Like you're looking at it so tenderly. Excuse me. Let me fix this. You're almost like, you know, the hand, I'm very drawn to the hand in this picture kind of cradling. So it feels to me that in your recent past, you've been thinking about memories from like childhood or that group of friends that you had that, you know, it just felt like that magic. It was just that pure connection. It was just those inside jokes that lit you up and gave you butterflies and made you laugh at the absolute absurdity of it all, right? There's this beautiful connection and this energy that you've been living in of those days were so beautiful. That feeling was so magical. Perhaps there's a bit of longing for that energy, right? You're wanting to bring that through to nowadays because, oh God, that was such a nice feeling. It was so nice to just feel that instant spark and that connection and that familiarity without the heaviness of all the, what's the word I'm looking for? All the, like the to-dos, all the word is like leaving me. My brain clears so much when I do tarot. I just let the messages come through. All the expectations and all of the, you know, stresses and worries that you have to have. So there's like, you feel less able to get into that space. So it feels like recently you've been really reminiscing and in that energy of wanting to connect with that feeling, with that magic of bringing it through, of that innocence, of that purity, of that pure, you can't name it, you know, you can only feel it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's that feeling of it was real and it was magic and it was a moment and it was beautiful. Yeah. Oh, that's making me mushy. All right. So you've been feeling that recently and you've been thinking about that. All right. Let's get into the next one. So with the Hanged Man, this is often about a shift in perspective. So this is a current energy that you are in. I'm feeling this could be one of two ways. It could be that you're looking back on the past and in the present, you're shifting your perspective on how you connected to those past memories. Or you could be shifting perspective into how you are going about now, so that you can pull through that purity, that innocence, that heart-led, intuitive, instinctual feeling that you once had, right? That was you and still is you. That tenderness, those moments, that connecting, that being able to just be in the moment and let your imagination flow. Like for me, I'm pulling in a memory of like sitting with friends, and I lived near a beach, right? So there's this nostalgia that comes in with instantly I'm transported to like hanging out with my friends, and there is the night sky, and then you can hear the beach waves in the distance. And however this manifests for you, right? This could be, laughter on the playground, or hanging out with your friends at your favorite spot that you used to go to, be it a friend's house or the mall, or, whatever. You think about that TV show Stranger Things. That was doing well until, controversial ending of the show. But there was a moment in there where they had a season that was like based a lot in like the malls and stuff like that, right? That pure innocent of like, oh, we're going to hang out and blah, 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 blah. This is you in this current moment, relating differently to perhaps even your own energy and to the world around you. How can I re-embody that part of me that I loved so tenderly and I hold so fondly, that I know is still within me, that inner child, that inner innocence, that purity, that as I have gotten older and aged and moved through this world, I created a bit of a protective shell around. And that is nothing to turn your nose up at, right? It's okay, right? We do the things we need to do in this life to navigate it as safely and as successfully as possible. But it feels like right now you're currently in a change in perspective of yourself. This feels like a change of how you are choosing to move through this world. And a part of you is yearning for, or perhaps even doing the work and the healing, that you're getting yourself into a space where you still feel safe enough, or are working to feel safe enough, that you want to allow that part of you, that innocence, that pure connective, childlike purity, magic to come through, right? You are changing how you see and view yourself and this world, as well as yourself in this world. So this is a beautiful thing. I'm seeing, okay, this is very interesting. I actually I want to say like a week or so ago, when I was meditating, I saw these ribbons of colors. That's interesting that this is coming in. I kind of wonder if it had to do with that meditation. Okay, this is what I'm going to say. I was meditating and I saw it almost looked like a grid. So you could say it's a cross, but it didn't mean like a structural Christian cross. It just meant like a connecting point, like when you're doing math and you've got your grid, right? You've got your vertical and your horizontal lines, right? In that symbol that came forth, it felt like a grid. It felt like a connection. And then from all the diagonals, I saw strips of color like this coming through. It was like rainbow colors coming in. And it was coming in to the center, and then it created this beautiful knot of embodied, imbued, and integrated colors. And it's not like it became muddled at all. It was interwoven, almost like the Celtic knots, or that you find in like various forms of like Eastern culture and stuff. Just a knot that had been created, and you could still very visibly see all the beautiful colors. So it was still rainbow. And it came through and it condensed, and it almost feels like this is almost that, right? Like there's this, what I saw was it was all coming in. So what it feels like to me is that you're pulling in to you, into your center, into your soul, into like, and by your soul, I mean you are the soul, right? I personally don't believe that we are our bodies. I feel like you are living this life. You are your soul. You are that essence, okay? That's why in so many religions they say, and then when you die, you go to heaven. It's not your body goes, right? That is the soul, or you, which is the consciousness, that which is, that is you, right? So in this, I was seeing it all pulled in rainbow colors diagonally into this grid, and it was pulled to the center and then bonded there. It was, you were pulled in, the energy was pulled in, and it was all integrated and it was all together. So it was a coming together of everything. So all the colors for me that almost feels like the chakra system. For me, it feels like, you know, the elements, the wind, the fire, the water, the earth, right? This is, you know, all your chakra points. So, you know, your third eye, your crown, your sacral, your heart, your throat, you know, your solar plexus. I did that out of order, but you know, looking into that, you may want to look into that if you so choose. But all the colors that are you, all the emotions, okay, that create yourself, all the experiences, right, are being brought back and internalized into you. And it's almost like you're calling your energy back into yourself. So I feel like this change of perspective is you calling yourself back in. Like you're saying, okay, I had X experience when I was growing up and it was hurtful. And when I look back on that memory, I am no longer going to release. I'm no longer going to say that memory takes my energy, is allowed my energy. No, that time has passed. I'm going to integrate and learn whatever I needed to learn, and I'm going to release what no longer serves me, and I'm pulling my energy back into me, into this present moment. And while you're pulling all those energies in a healthy way, right? You're saying, I'm only bringing forth the energy that is for my highest good, and I'm releasing everything that doesn't serve me from all these different directions, and I'm coalescing back into the inner strength that is me. So this is this perspective change that you're going through, that you're no longer leaking energy, and you're bringing your strength back into wholeness, back into you. You're condensing it back into you. Thank you, Spirit, for bringing me that message. Like, I don't know, it's been like 2 weeks. Thank you for bringing me that message before so that it was ready for the collective now. Thank you for that. So this is beautiful. For me, this is a change of perspective, but look at how vibrant it is. How gorgeous is that? For you to be calling back all the beautiful colors, all the beautiful energy that is you, letting you shine in your most vibrant, prismatic, beautiful version of yourself that there is. You know what I mean? That part of you that when you were a kid sparkled, you know, like you had twinkles behind your eyes and you felt, everything felt alive and magic, and the world was awe-inspiring, and you know, that part of you is returning to you, or it's reigniting within you as you pull back. And it's not that you're hiding away from people. This is no. I am reclaiming my power, and I'm pulling it back into me, so that this part of myself that was once alive and vibrant is able to breathe again and express itself again, and in ultimate beauty and color and vibrancy. I am safe because I am a safe being. I have created, you have the strength and the safety of yourself. And you know that you're strong enough to make it through. You've made it through to this point. So now you're calling back your energy from those moments, only bringing in the highest good into yourself, and you're going to live in that vibrancy. This is that shift that's happening within you so that you can shine again, so that you can sparkle, so that you can dazzle and have that twinkle in your eye and move through this world like a magical person that, you know, people are like, wow, who's that? Or, ooh, they have such good energy. Or, you know, like you're bringing that back into the world where you've got that intuitive flow and I don't know. It's just like the best vibe possible is what you're doing. And that's gorgeous. And I almost feel like it's like you're just diving in. Like you're diving in. Like, yes, that's the Hanged Man, but this feels like you, boom, immersing yourself. Nope, I'm going into this. I'm calling this forth. I'm living this. I'm going to live, and I'm going to be my most vibrant, beautiful self. And I'm allowing that inner child who had to stay quiet for so long to shine once again. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. All right, let's get into the next one. With the Four of Cups, there's like a bit of apathy, right? Sometimes it's not seeing what is being offered to you. So this feels like as you do this work, there is a gentle invitation to be mindful, to not fall into the things aren't what they were. They're not going to be. But that doesn't mean you can't see what's being offered you, right? This is oftentimes, this is shown with 3 cups that have been spilled and, you know, someone's offering a cup, right? That's that hand coming in. That's that emotion. That's that love. That's that caring. And the person isn't looking. So this is a gentle, for the future, to note for yourself, to look for, to turn, to connect to what is being offered, what is there. How are you going to now, in this new version of yourself, move through this world and see what's still there, because there is still there. And what I'm seeing here, like, right, the fact that this is red, yes, this could be wine, but for me, it feels like love. There is still love here. There is still nurturing here. There is still, and that could be external, that could be for, you know, of your own self, that could be an inner love, that could be a universal love, right? There is still love and care for you, and you're being invited in the future to be mindful of switching out of apathy, out of stagnation, and connecting into, you're being invited to not be like, but I don't have this yet, and I don't have that yet, and this is different, right? Instead of looking at the lack, look at what there is. Like, I'm still an amazing human being. Like, life has tried to, but, and look at me, I'm still standing. And you know what? I am still an amazing human being. And I can still make a difference in this world. And I believe, I have hope that my relationships can still be magical and tender and beautiful, right? Are they going to be different? Sure, you're older. But that doesn't mean you can't find a new expression of that similar essence, that similar energy of expression that is colorful and beautiful, that translated form of relationship, right? Like, there's a possibility for it. You just have to allow, if you so choose, right? Like I say, this is your choice. This is your life. These are your, you know, you move through it as you deem fit, right? Nobody's saying you have to do that or you have to do this. It is an invitation to, if you are so choosing, connect differently with this new perspective to this energy that's still there, this magic, this color, this vibrancy, but to know that it may reflect differently, or you may reflect it differently. It may show up in your life in a different way, but there's still good. There's still offering. There's still magic. There's still vibrancy, right? So just you're being cautioned, you know, try not to let yourself fall into the trap of, you know, looking at the lack instead of looking at what you have. It is an invitation to a change of perspective. You've changed your, you know, this is that hanged man, that change of perspective, to not fall out of it, to come back into it, to excuse me, to connect back into that energy, you know, if you so choose. Invitation to see that there still is, and it's going to be okay. Let's see. And this almost feels like a person lost in contemplation, right? So I am feeling that it is less in your brain, not to let your thoughts get away from you. You know, the chatty mind, what they call like the monkey brain of like the survival instincts. So then you start talking everything down or needing to rationalize everything. It's saying trust. Look, this is coming from a source that you might not recognize, or maybe it's coming internally, but this is love, this is feeling, this is connection. It's here. Focus here. Reconnect here. Don't lose that. And it's not like you ever lose it. It's always there. You just become perhaps unaware of it, but connect to it. It's here and it will always be here. Just keep reframing your focus. It's an invitation that if you get caught up in your thoughts, come back. Come back. Come back. All right. Beautiful. Okay, let's get the Oracle decks and see what else Spirit wants to bring through for this reading. Okay, so for today, the first deck that was calling to me is the Mary Magdalene Oracle. Let's go ahead and see what comes through. All right, Spirit, what else would like to come through for this collective? What other message? Ooh. What other message is coming through for this collective, Spirit? What other message? What other message? All right, I'm going to trust the stop. The first will be the last, and the last will be the first. The Alpha and Omega. Every ending is a new beginning. This feels... I'm going to put it here. This feels like it goes right here. All right, let's get the guidebook and see what message comes through. Okay. Every ending is a new beginning. Christ's parable of the vineyard workers describes a man who arrives in a vineyard late in the day, and yet he's given the same amount of pay for his brief labor as those who have been hard at work since dawn. Christ explains that in the world to come, or in the world that already exists invisibly within this one, those who are last shall be first, and the first last. Matthew 20:16. This doesn't seem fair, though, or just, and that's precisely what the parable is meant to do. It's meant to get us all caught up in our ego so that we can release it. If we really focus on what's fair according to the ego, we get tied up in feeling as if we're being cheated or betrayed. This comes from the ego's fear that there's only so much treasure to go around. We think this laborer who only just showed up as the work was almost over will take from what we would have received. There isn't a concept of plenty, only lack and scarcity. The ego can't conceive of an unconditional love that isn't concerned with what's fair when it comes to who can receive it. The treasure is for everyone who shows up. Everyone who shows up. Whether we've only just started the work now, or we've been laboring in the name of love for our entire lives, love is here for all of us, equally. Love operates on a system that's limitless, and this feels entirely unfair to the ego. And when we realize this, that the last shall be first and the first last, the ego is released. At what had felt like a painful betrayal or an unjust situation, It expands into something new. We can revel in the unreasonable abundance of love. I want to stop right here before I keep going. Perhaps in the way things were and this change into how things are now, this is an invitation to that change of perspective, that there's enough for everybody, that there's this connection, that there's love, that there's abundance. To know that there's enough going around for everybody. To know that connection to everything, that all that is, that magic, it exists for everyone. And there's a possibility for it exists to all, and that not one person should feel like they are not worthy of it, right? Call that energy back in, relate to those experiences differently, but know that there's enough to go around. This is a hand, like this is an extension of you are loved as well. So perhaps if there's moments where you get into, yeah, but that's not for me, or yeah, everybody but me, or yeah, da 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 da, or, you know, if it's for them, then it's not for me. Love, the highest energy, that magic that exists in all of us in the universe, it is here for you. It is here for all of us. And it is okay, right? We're going to release that which doesn't serve. And we're going to allow in that love and that caring and that community. It's here for us all. Okay. We can revel in the unreasonable abundance of love. The alpha is the first letter in the Greek alphabet, and the omega is the last. So this is the practice. To keep releasing the ego, keep releasing what doesn't serve, which means having massive amounts of mercy on ourselves and on others. Okay, if you're doing that work and then you feel yourself pulled into that mind, that thought, that process of this isn't fair, this isn't right, and I'm not saying that things can't be right, and I'm not saying that sometimes things don't feel unfair. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is try not to allow yourself to be absorbed and pulled back into like that apathy, into that feeling of nothing's going to work out, because it will. There's offerings for you here. There's love. There's connection. It's here for you. Just don't let yourself be swept away in your thoughts, right? That brain that chatters at you, don't let that swallow you. We keep reaching the omega point so we can rise again, which means starting over, going back to the beginning. Keep going and then back into this energy. We go back into it and flow back into this energy. This is alpha, omega, alpha, omega. We start, we go through, we release what doesn't serve us. We have that energy space, we change our perspective. And if we go back into this ending and we find ourselves here again, we're asked to turn back, to look back, to connect back, and start over in this magic energy again. Cycling. Keep giving yourself grace. Keep going back into that love. Keep going back into that magic wonder. Circling, cycling. We keep reaching the omega point so we can rise again, which means starting over, going back to the beginning. Humble, human, more merciful, more in love. Beautiful. And then a soul voice meditation if you so choose. What egoic story can I release right now so that I can start again? This is you as a phoenix. This is you as a phoenix rising from the ashes. This is you releasing. Release. Pull that good energy back in, that tenderness, that love for self. And when you get back into that space, back again. Go back into this. Release what doesn't serve. We want to call back into this energy. It's a cycle. It's okay. We all go through them. We all have our moments. Nobody's perfect. It's okay. We keep learning. We keep growing. We keep evolving. It's that phoenix from the ashes. It's that caterpillar going into the chrysalis, coming out as a butterfly. We keep going through it. It's our transformation. It's our evolution. It's okay. Have mercy on yourself. It's okay. Allow it. Lead with love. Lead from your heart. Allow. Know that it's okay. All right. Beautiful. Thank you, Spirit. Makes sense now. And then the other oracle I was called to is the herbal astrology. So let's see what message wants to come through from here. All right, Spirit. What message? What last message wants to come through for this collective? What final message wants to come through for this collective? Thank you, Spirit, for bringing forth this beautiful message. What else would like to come through? All right, I'm trusting. Palo Santo, Guardian. Beautiful. Oh, this is gorgeous. Okay, let's read. I'm actually going to put this here because I feel like in that change of perspective and that invitation to call back, you are guarded. Let's read and see what message comes through from the book. All right, I'm going to read this. It has upright and reversed. It came up upright, so we're going to read upright. So, gifts from past lives, activating dormant gifts, connecting to the ancestors, guardian of the sacred and the sacred trickster. Astrological ruler, south node, Pluto. And I feel like that's where that trickster energy comes in, like Pluto, and I think sometimes Uranus, because they're kind of with that archetype of, ooh, who's the one? The archetype of the one who gives, fire to man, who gives them knowledge and connection sometimes before they're ready. I can't think of the name, but if you look it up, it's that spirit of, you might not realize that you're ready, but I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give you that knowledge. It's going to come through so that you can start to integrate and work through and evolve and do that. So it feels like that energy is coming in. Thank you, Spirit. The ritualistic burning of Palo Santo, which translates to sacred holy wood, can be traced back to the Incan Empire, where it was used in spiritual ceremonies to cleanse the body and space of malignant darkness. To this day, it is used ritualistically among many indigenous communities throughout Central and South America, particularly to cleanse bad energy, bad air, and the evil eye. Mal de aire, translated to bad air. Yet, it is a spiritual illness believed to be a kind of cold nighttime air created by malignant spirits that enters the body, causing pain, discomfort, sickness, and many other kinds of imbalances. Okay. Incan, remember, take what resonates, leave the rest, right? This is just educational. Take what resonates, leave the rest, right? Incan medicine people used this wood in their religious rituals as tools to neutralize negativity, to rejuvenate the body-mind spaces, to bring peace, balance, and good fortune, and to achieve a better spiritual communication with their gods. Scientific studies now show how Palo Santo can help relieve stress and anxiety, to stimulate circulation, to reduce joint and muscle pain, and to uplift mood and the immune system. It is also proven to cleanse the space, to dispel bacteria, and act as an insect repellent. Well, that's nice. Palo Santo's medicinal qualities are very plutonic in nature, as it powerfully cleanses malignant energy while being highly invocatory and perfect for strong intention setting. So perhaps as you set that intention to call your energy back into yourself, to release what doesn't serve you, and to call in like positive energies, and to integrate and to alchemize, you may, if you so choose, if you feel invited to, might want to burn some Palo Santo, perhaps get some incense of that. With all things, please be safe, don't cause any fires, be careful, research how to properly do so if you so choose. Or maybe go to a space where someone can do it for you if they're ritualistically, if you feel called, right, to get that. So yeah, just ways you can possibly utilize this in your journey, in this process of alpha and omega. When you get in those moments where you're feeling like you're looking at that energy that, doesn't serve, and you're, having trouble releasing, maybe get some Palo Santo to help you release so that you can rejuvenate. Move back into that space, to the alpha, to back into that energy, that vibrancy, that magic, that connection, that color, right? Palo Santo has a long history of use as a magic wand that unlocks innate gifts that have lain dormant, inactive, or blocked, like wisdom, intuition, and sight to see the past and past lives. Guidance. Palo Santo is a protective wand that grants us the power of unlocking innate gifts that have lain dormant, inactive, or blocked. Palo Santo, like the fox, is here to assist you as a spirit guide who helps you navigate the spirit world. The Sechuran foxes native to South America, I hope I said that right, nestle among the desert forest of Palo Santo for shelter, living in symbiosis with these precious trees. Foxes are symbolic of the afterlife, invisibility, and the sacred trickster. Palo Santo neutralizes the venom of dark tricksters and alchemizes its poison into gold. Okay, that's that alchemy again coming through. Palo Santo is here to remind you to activate your dormant gifts, to bring forth that energy, that love, that magic, that intuition that you've always had within you that maybe fell dormant through life. As you're changing that perspective, as you're releasing that energy that doesn't serve, as you're calling your energy back to yourself, purified, alchemized, transmuted, you're bringing that energy back to you and perhaps stepping into that intuitive side of you that always has been, and that you can bring out of dormancy once more. You can awaken within you. Okay. You are a guardian of the sacred that has walked many paths. Know that you can neutralize the greatest of poisons and even outwit the smartest of tricksters. The smartest of tricksters. So know that you have the power, those things, those experiences, those people that probably haven't felt like they've served the kindest purpose in your life. You are able, right? You have the power to neutralize that energy, that poison, that experience, to release. Okay? You have the power to change that, to go back into that flow state, that energy, that love, that childhood version of you that was just intuitive and magic and felt that vibe, and everything felt like it connected so much easier, kind of like the right people were brought in, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you feel yourself flow back into that apathy, perhaps do some releasing again. Look back at what you do have. Do maybe some Palo Santo cleansing if you so feel called, and go back into that state of wonder, of childlike magic, of that power that is you, that essence that is you, that is the core of you. This is the core of you. This childlike, that is you. That is you at your core, and it is still there, and it is still vibrant, and still beautiful, and it is wanting to be called back in and be reawakened so that you can live vibrantly and beautifully and colorfully. So, beautiful. I hope you enjoyed this week's reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest. I send you all light. Trust that you have the ability, that you have the power, that light within you, that prismatic color, that energy, that magic, that intuition is still so deeply alive in you that the universe brought you here to receive this message so that you know it's confirmation. It is in you. You have not lost it. It is still there. It's time to awaken. It is time to release what doesn't serve and awaken that energy once more, to live back, to go back into that alpha state, to start fresh, and maybe start fresh with a new perspective, with new knowledge, right? So this is a new version of you that calls in that magic, that has those abilities to transmute, to intuit, to live a beautiful, colorful, vibrant life, and to move through this world in such a way that is positive and wonderful. And I don't know, it just lights you up and lights others up around you. So I'm sending you light. I'm wishing you all take what resonates, leave the rest, and I look forward to seeing you all at the next reading. Bye.